Mic test 1, 2. Oh, I don't like. Is there like that? Did I make it a bit more better? I think it does. Either way, welcome people. Even though I still think it's a bit bright, we're back, we are live, we are here. Welcome, everybody. Back to another live, back to where it all starts. Oh, here for a few minutes. So I hope everyone is having a wonderful night tonight. I know it's going to be draining because tomorrow's Monday. We all hate Monday, but hey, let's get into animal facts. Shall we not? Especially when we see the cockroach behind you. I know you guys are going to be a bit creeped out seeing a cockroach. But trust me, this cockroach is not that deep. Ironically enough. So yeah, people, how are we all doing? We are back live. If you are new, before we get into animal facts and getting more into it, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, turn on notification bell so you never miss any upload to when I go live, because it is so relevant to going live, because we talk about nature in all its finest. So yes, you're going to be a bit creeped out seeing a cockroach, and I get it. I mean, it is quite gross seeing a cockroach in person, but cockroaches are absolutely insanely amazing in their own right, and we should actually more acknowledge cockroaches than be grossed out by them. So don't freak out when you see cockroaches. They are more interesting than we like to think. The only gross thing about cockroaches is that they typically will eat their own kind. You know, they do breed like wildfire, and that is a fact. They do. They love to breed more faster than anything I ever cared to imagine. But they are fascinating. We will get into it. Trust me. You know, so if you're new, like I say, welcome. Hope you're all having a wonderful, special day in such a beautiful day. Yes, this is a cockroach, and yes, it looks gross, but they can survive underneath the water for about 15 minutes, which is insane. If you were to remove a head of a cockroach, they can survive up to a week without no head. They typically can still breathe, but they just can't eat or drink. So there you go. Cockroaches are very hard to actually kill or even, destroy on purpose. Very fascinating, isn't it? So if you love cockroaches, that's a really interesting fact. What image do we have? We've got cockroach. Yeah, we'll do this one. Believe it or not, we all like king cobras. Fascinating creatures. There are some interesting things about king cobras that most people do not typically know. When it comes to snake charmers, people typically think that they are dancing to, to the snake charmers' music. Not actually physically true. In fact, king cobras will follow the vibration of the sound of what the, snake charmer is producing, but they will not actually be dancing. If that music was to stop, it'd be a whole different story, but typically king cobras do like to actually avoid humans. They don't want to be in that conflict with humans, and it is known that king cobras are often more shy than aggressive. But not only that, if you think about king cobras a little bit more, out of all snake species, king cobras are the only snakes alone that will build a nest to basically look after their young. So king cobras have been known to do that sort of, thing quite easily and effectively, but they are more aggressive when they have their young because they're obviously looking after their young. So even though king cobras are shy and very much want to avoid human conflict, if you are to go near them while they are in the nest, you will be confronted with one pissed off king cobra and you do not want to be on the wrong side of it. Simple. Although some snakes do lay eggs, some just give birth as it is, which is quite unique. King cobras are no exception to that. Although they do like to lay eggs more than actually produce to the young. So yes, they will build their nest like swans do, or any other bird, and they will look after the young that way. How unique is that for king cobras? But as I say, king cobras do not dance to the sound, of snake charmers that try and charm them by trying to make them dance. They don't actually have that sort of vibration to dance. It is really weird to go live at night time now, I can't lie. But hi everybody, welcome. People are so interested in me bored. Hold up. Ostriches, phenomenal flightless birds. But an interesting thing about ostriches, which most people do not actually consider, okay, is that not king cobras, I say you just take king cobras. When it comes to ostriches, the male ones will typically roar like lions do. Bet you guys didn't know that. Now when it comes to males, they will typically roar. It is quite unique in their own element. So yes, the next time you think that ostriches do not have vocal cords, especially the males, you would be absolutely wrong and you'd be thinking differently. But they sure as hell can roar like lions. That is something that I really would love to hear. But it is a proven fact that yes, male ostriches do roar like lions. And what's even more fascinating about ostriches is that their eyes are a lot more bigger than their brain. And they do lay quite large eggs, which is, got a lot of calories. You can eat ostrich eggs quite easily. So, bet you didn't know that. When it comes to these guys, polar bears, they are not actually white. The color white is genuinely there to trick you. As what we think the color is vastly different from what we know. So yes, these guys are actually jet black, not white. And it's the same with most things that we see in the wild. We think that some animals are blue and some are typically different. They're not. They are actually black and only jet black. But in the wild, they look like they are white. So polar bears are typically more advanced in that manner to be more jet black. You will never really see one in captivity because, let's face it, seeing one in captivity is a lot harder to look after. Oh, it is so nice to have nobody come through. Poison dart frogs. Phenomenal little things, absolutely poisonous in the wild. But what is interesting about poison dart frogs is the fact that these guys typically will be non-poisonous in captivity. The reason for that is because they typically will eat fruit flies in captivity, but in the wild they would typically eat poisonous ants, poisonous flies. That is what makes a poison dart frog so poisonous. But if you eliminate that in captivity, they will become pretty much non-poisonous, and therefore they're not so harmful to us humans in captivity versus the wild. So anyone that wonders, are they poisonous in captivity? No, they're not. Wow, I've been streaming for 10 minutes and nobody's showing. Crazy times, people. Come on. Where is everybody at? We've been live for literally 10 minutes and nobody's showing. Crazy. It's okay. It is okay. Hold up. Tigers with their feet. Yes, they are beautiful and downright elegant. But believe it or not, a tiger's feet are partly webbed, which means it helps them to basically swim and push the water quite easily. Phenomenal, isn't it? I don't think people like coming live at this sort of time because it really does be quiet. It is really quiet. Okay, guys, I'm gonna do a video.